Amra Super Duper Television, PH1 Television, Embra so Metana se Namede a PH1 Hot News no, and so at the Eba someone a house of Bian Soy Boko, Tredian Ponyan Coupon, Eddie Unconso, Achia Janel say it in the Ecoso, Ewa on my Conquer Bian so to me so, Equa and Kind so Diana, Casabono, Nebedimu Akutin Ebi Enye. Ghana man penny John Dramani Mahaman Swed Cocobo, so aqua Jamana Swafo Frona, just away your Monocobo Bay, and so Betty and some so elka Saponum. Sasso Anna Dom Kuam, the Shepherd of Fion Swed in Sembia Botrab and Tinefa, President the appointees are away your mo at Yaban in some bay, and also Betty and some so elka Sapon Emu. Sasso and a youth minister a year designated on Swadi, Nettie George or Parry Adon said in Samba, Community Swadi about Travel and Tennessee, San Waba. Or ba some of my conquer Ghana. Sasso Anna says ya no minority leader, a majority leader for now, no a Mahama, a Yarga, or no so just a December, Kuminaba Travel and Tina Bra, a doctor at a force and so edition as a Baya majority leader, El Parliament and some bay, and mu and some so battle PH1 News is on some for a can some way who and made the Baba Sumsa PH1 What's News. Now I'm fast to the PC and Fema Boa for the PH1 Media Training Institute. And make out for Diamo saying some trademark one just out there to a class or person yadia. Not what to tune tones of a Piemo Ewa Katia say, not yet traino. Now on sweat me science and trade Manebian on super so we are journalists and I saw the DJ in an opera 1 year. Reporter Nis Castana saw Jan Market and the same series. And as a video editor at DOS programs so no at DOS something and nobody say. Now you train on Swabia perfect Nebian so it means so aqua and kind so Eddie Amo. Or maybe Sasa him find a bone a year PH1 Media Training Institute. On your of our Shman Asa with Yemenon. Shans one see a trap point so dear and Yajira Quine Swedro Eddie share Council for Liberty Junction. Baby PH1 TV and radio channel so and our PH1 Media Training Institute so going a trap point so and to Bettina May now our friend pen for 0542 229-112 0542-229-112 and also say 0540-252-582 0540-252-582 Shannon so from second so PH1 radio and so say demo life and song for Bibiana Witten so not my halon again sent to me so and Quanka Mesro me and Bema Japan the PH1 hot news no and so I was some more I was some Jimulino ya from Aisha a celebrate me so out from Aisha one Mr. Yet you want baby Pekka Sabona Muchum we had was some. PH1 TV and PH1 radio. So, Minda was to say a child if you take a senator so at the PH1 TV, so they are not assassin the PCA and Echo at the Amo. Now, I see the Min Tuntomaya, Mufaka Sabona Munche, so and friends some more jam. Penny John Dramani Mahaman so Edin Samba Kumini so at your Bible trouble and say no Elqua Diamana so and now so for furniture sem. Wash them in our office no. Need some more that trouble and Tina Zesianum when you have a biasa for more one and let us send you up a song young from poor my conquer garnet to me so Abemudiam. Mom young woman, so mom my dream some about when you have a tramonton. Sans when you post in its mobile vessel say and I said it sounds a gun of for soil or more at Doma, Kuma yes, Papa, Nanya or someone young from poor my conquer garnet so. Omo and Yantino, Man Penny John Dramani Mahama Eka Sani, Sembi say and a sanso editiaso.
It is quite clear that so much needs to be done in so short a time. And I assure the people of Ghana that this government will rise to the challenge and will reset our country. As I pointed out during my inaugural speech, Ghanaians have through their votes declared their intention to demand the highest standards of governance, and we cannot afford to fail them. This naturally puts a burden of responsibility on us, which we must prove equal to. Ghanaians have shown that the days of tolerance for disrespectful gaslighting by government officials are well and truly over. They will take firm action as they deem fit to punish any administration that takes them for granted. I therefore charge you to serve in humility and candor, always remembering that we serve at the pleasure of the Ghanaian people, and that the authority we exercise emanates from them. We must exhibit tolerance for their views and work to meet their aspirations. This government will not tolerate arrogance or disrespect for the people who elected us.
And your choir was sure your mom would change so at the Abanedia. Now the swans to edge him on the Shabu so. Now young Chosso and Fema so dear Nature said. Mrs. Elizabeth of Fosu, adjourned said the same be about trouble and so no, and your minister designated matrate and agreed business. In some be about trouble and small about trouble and three answer. Say, and ya add Junitum number by your minister, then I just say, yeah, and bounce said, now come see a papa bonnet and Juma who draws to me so. Abem no Cassa said for Woman Development Bank, no, or says Bank Bob one and ban no more person start a business, no more so more business mood and so more pescan said, yeah, Shamukin and so, or Bob no so and Saka Sasso and Urban sector one so more and Banu, a queen of brain now so said to me, so I must ever the sector. Abraham, Madame Elizabeth Ekasan, send me say no sans so a yet so. Fortunately,
the Parliament of Ghana has passed the Affirmative Action Law. That's the Affirmative Action Act, Act 1121, 2024. The whole essence of the law, if I take you with the greatest respect to section 1, with your kind permission, I read. The object of this act is to ensure the attainment of gender equity in the political, social, economic, educational, and cultural spheres of the society. With your kind permission, I move to 3. The government will promote policies and programs to redress the political, economic, and educational gender imbalance in the public and private sectors. It is the dream of Excellency John Dramani Mahama to implement the Affirmative Action Act. There is going to be a policy on women at the Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness, and Industry. The whole idea is to promote women to upskill what they do in the industry so that we can find a lot of women at the top of industry. It is tried learning that women have not gone that high. And so there will be clear-cut policies to ensure that this happens. 1, we will deal with access to capital. 2, we will deal with mentoring. The fact that we say there are not too many women at the top means that there are some there anyway. So there will be a mentoring program that allows them to mentor young entrepreneurs to come up and also scale up. There will also be incentives for industry that have a lot of women or women-led industry. Fortunately, we have the Women Bank coming up. This is also going to pushing women. The Women Bank basically is a bank that is set up to help women. The beauty of the bank is that only women work in that bank. I keep on saying, to wait. If somebody will beat you to cry, it will not be the same way as you have decided to cry. Women know women's problem. And so all Women's Bank, we know our problems, we know our strengths, we know our weaknesses, we know how far we hold our hands and go together. So the implementation of the Women's Bank program also help women in industry to thrive.
Mrs. Elizabeth Ofosu a Jarin Son and someone so at Yabo Trouble and a Woman Development Bank on a home. When you see I then Ama HSM, Bebuna Nasem, Bano said to me so, and yes, consider Shamuja said to me so, Aquanka and I just say, on also edited Janet Dia, na young phone calling some from so dear. Na Canadian Defense Minister son it needed Dominic need to and said the same be about Trabantin. Nesma de Trabantin, no Nayan, Sembia, Nano and Drea, SCA on the Sheba de Fedin answer, Kwame governs a non self on Agbazan so, and the same of Trabantin, a Caniman penny, Nana don't go for so. I rented private jet so or 2 private jet and just saw rent in a way and Dominic and Sadia Trabantin, you could pian, man penny that done and I don't go for on yes, our uncle. Rent a private jet beyond Tinabra Dominic and so Ekasan is send say another to some trouble any.
For bringing order to the house. This house is a house of records. And so I just wanted to place on record the correct information. I'm not here to do propaganda. I'm not here to say anything about anybody. I'm just here to correct something that the Honorable Chief Whip made or said. Nothing more, nothing less. First of all, he said Akufo-Addo has not traveled on commercial commercial aircraft. I want to say that President Akufo-Addo has traveled on numerous occasions on the same Emirates before. In fact, on some of the occasions, he went to Honorable Ascenso. He's here. You can verify for him. I have the privilege as Minister for Defense to always be at the airport when the President is traveling. And your Minister will do so. So I have the records. In fact, I am aware that the President has traveled to the UK numerous times on British Airways. We always have to be there between 10 and 11 for you to go. I'm aware that the President had to travel on Qatar Airways numerous times. So I'm just giving that information to Parliament and to the House. And for it to enter the hands that the President Nana Addo Akufo-Addo has traveled on commercial aircraft several times, not once, and I've mentioned at least 3 airlines. Can I finish? The second thing I want to correct is that President Akufo-Addo has not rented any private jet to travel within the country. West Africa, yes. Outside West Africa, yes. But in the country, no. That is also not correct because that's what you said. That is rented jets and traveling within the country. And Mama will not do that. It's also true. The third one I want to state is that ever since we took that aircraft to France for it to be done properly, it took almost 6 months, about 6 months to 7 months for it to be fitted properly and brought back. President Akufo-Addo has been using it. In fact, even I think 2 days before he handed it, we used that aircraft. President Akufo-Addo has used that aircraft for the last 8 months. So it is not as if we were not using that aircraft and now we want President Mahama to use it. It's not a true story. President Akufo-Addo has been using it ever since it returned from France. That's the third point I want to make. And the last point I want to make and still make, which is the last point I want to make and still make, is that President Mahama, when that aircraft was not available, rented aircrafts, private jets, and used outside the country. Yes. Yes. I say yes. That I can say that for a fact. Ask him himself. Ask President Mahama himself. And say you don't have the information, but you ask him himself. Ask him himself. He will tell you that yes, he did when he was president. So these are the 4 things I wanted to say. I'm not saying any controversial thing. I'm not bringing any new facts. These are just the 4 things I wanted to say. That one, President Akufo-Addo has traveled on numerous occasions with commercial jets or commercial aircrafts. I've mentioned the names. 2, President Akufo-Addo has not traveled and has not rented any private jet to be traveled around the country. 3, President Akufo-Addo. Yes, I just repeated what I said. So it's in the hands of Mr. Speaker. I thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Dominic need to win so about Bantini, about the Cassaseb, Nana Akufo-Addo, Caniman Penny on quarantine, a private jet to be on to one with the Asham Chimna, and dead the Manono, Muyi, Infant Film. na mama kan so ko YouTube on so a PH1 Hot News no so and so etwegu so a mo so amuti radio no so nyame enhwam ne bian so etime so enkon kan de yamfo enko eyansambu from so diam Judge Opari Aduano and a youth minister designated on said in Samba Kumuni at the Ababa Comtina to Nano. Ninsama Java Bontina said, Bepunat Nakuma Suya Papa Pantano, saying, Jenny to me there, Yadoba Buanas and Bebun search me so, and yet a drum so I and a bian search me so aqua and Cantino. Abuda Ora, a Judge Opari Ekasan, and Sambi Sano Sanso Ekanya editor so.
Organizer of the NDC.
That's correct, Mr. Chairman.
And so, because of our architecture of our political system, the winner takes all. There seemed to be the belief from young people who are not necessarily aligned to your party that in the event that the NDC and its Minister of Youth has an opportunity to create jobs for young people, they may not be considered because you are the National Youth Organizer of the NDC. Can you convince me and the people of Ghana, especially the youth, that you are going to be fair, you are going to be patriotic, and you are going to apply your role or your office justifiably?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, poverty knows no political color. And when His Excellency nominated me, the first statement I put out was that my doors are open for anybody, irrespective of political party, creed, religion, or ethnicity. I am here to serve the good people of Ghana. And as National Youth Organizer of the NEC, that will not limit me, and I want to assure this committee that my doors will be open to every young person who wants to see some development and improvement in his life. The good thing is that, let me quote Elon Musk. He says, "Your education doesn't matter to me. Give me a code and I will employ you." I don't care which political party you belong to. Give me a proposal that will create jobs for young people and I will work with you. Thank you.
Judge Opari so then some of the other troubles we be no ponso ja to ntino bibia no hwem bo no ba ne nkyanya on me na manyo se bia da habda bi on nya santino wo ba na dia na cheso bebo akoma kwan bia nso etumi so akwanka we aye owura Judge Opari so then some no so e di aboto abontere na ya da so agina ya mbe shebedwefie so dia na eye ndokuma na omo wo mbe shebedwefie so di semi aboto abontere efra mampani ni apprentice members no wa appointee omo so mbopo na cheso ntumi so ensumo man konkro Ghana na dom kuma no obi odi omu enim no so edi nsem bia boto abonte ne se bodo aboto abonte ne nyina se na nke wo se mampani John Dramani Mahama so onye ayes Council of State form edi saudo ansan no ba appointee ministers na appointee omo wanya ne sane ntino o chese ya de omu ya ye papa omo ni isadrofo edi nkomo no na omo de sa semina etu dwante ne ntwensam a Honorable Patrick Ijau eso ekan.
Every appointment that the president makes is founded or grounded in law, either in the Constitution or an enabling act. So if you realize the president's appointment for the ministerial portfolios were in accordance with Article 78 of the Constitution. Some appointments to state-owned companies or entities were founded under their enabling act. We realized as a minority that there was a release from the office of the president dated the 21st of January 2025, and the president listed the following appointees: Mrs. Joyce Bawa Muntari, Presidential Advisor and Special Aide to the President; Stanley Dogbe, Deputy Chief of Staff Operations; Nana Oye Bampo, Deputy Chief of Staff Administration; Seth Emmanuel Tekpe, Presidential Advisor on the Economy; Professor Francis Dodu, Presidential Advisor, National Anti-Corruption Program; Larry Bevro Latte, I'm sure he's Colonel, an officer of the Army, Special Envoy to the Alliance of Sahelian States; Nanaya Jantwa, Presidential Staffer; Beatrice Anamfio, Presidential Staffer; Shamima Muslim, Deputy Presidential Spokesperson. Professor Kweku Danso-Boafo, Cabinet Secretary. What is the problem of the minority? In the spirit of our Constitution, Act 463 was enacted. That is the Presidential Office Act of 1993, one of the first acts that was established by the Parliament of Ghana to give effect to the functioning of the Office of the President. And let me read a long title of the act to you for the benefit of your reportage. An act to establish the Presidential Office to provide for staff for the President and Vice President to provide for their functions.
Patrick Ayaja so Buama Sunesamon so editor some truffle enim. Nayan Chaka Saban so and Famon so that Ali John Adolf so Eddie Sembi about Trabantin. On no Yabo in this one, Norton a regional minister so FM Adishudom. Na Abra committee for the literature and Comono. And Yabi says, so when you be a not regional minister. At then and just saw by Yama or Mount for so or Mbakai de Bia at then and obey a diamond now to the one. On a day some Jaya did not come see a Papantino on a Jonia Babia a Yadasum John so bet me upon kind so I won't put him was so and a bush. No be answered to me so I can kind to what to be answered to me and bed in my moontiation someone or what out of a so editor so.
The chairman, having become a district chief executive before for 8 years, under my regime as a DC, I never created any problem between myself and then the member of parliament. So in short, I just want to give you that firm assurance that if this house gives me their consent or approval on president's nomination for me to become a regional minister, if this was happening, it will become a thing of the past. I will ensure, because sitting on an MP's fund means you are depriving some people from benefiting what they are supposed to get. Perhaps the MP wants to give a community potable water. So, Mr. Chairman,
thank you very much for your answer. Any further question?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My second question. Nominee, what will you want to be remembered for as you leave office one day? What would you want the Northern region to mention as your legacy? Thank you.
Thank you. Proceed to answer.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, I cherish peace so much. And so one of the things that I want to be remembered for has to do with peace. Under my regime, if I make the regional minister, under my regime, I don't want to see any conflict throughout my tenure. And I think that based on the foundation I will build, maybe it will be a continual thing even after my regime.
Ali John Adolf and Yakokatan and Deno Nan, Ninsamo do Trabontin, and so FAM, Asumje and Wasumjin, so Edna Kuma see a papa. Now, that's why Dina Meshabo de Fiomuso Diana and then Dr. Atofossen some as a son in Yamay now so at the mam, Ram Ham Ayarga Sabaya, majority leader, so Nebianso and Quancabra, about some Ghana form. Now, over Ayargan so Ekasaya, and some more kind Nana said. Yo waji edi atume ya jan so baba chejuma pa ye Dr. Atofossen so na abra no ya majority leader no juma pa no so e boy no so e chia so e no da ye party fo ina so asem pen fo ina so ase e no san so e kasai ne sem bi say e no san so e kan.
I was formally chosen by my party, the Great National Democratic Congress, and the majority caucus of 187 members to lead the NDC caucus in this ninth Parliament of the Fourth Republic. It is an honor and a privilege to serve in this new role as Majority Leader and Leader of Government Business in this Parliament. With humility and profound gratitude to His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, the leadership of the NDC, chaired by the Honorable Johnson Asiedu Nketia, and my honorable colleagues in Parliament, I wholeheartedly accept this appointment. I am thankful for the confidence reposed in me, fully aware that this is an onerous role. I intend to discharge it to the best of my ability. Our duty as legislators is to ensure that we do all we can for the betterment of the people of Ghana. As leaders of the House, as a leader of the House, I have an abiding duty to ensure that we always stand on the side of Ghanaians. Right, Honorable Speaker, this is my charge to keep and a duty I will faithfully discharge. As leader of the House, I am committed to working hard to ensure that members work in an environment that is more conducive, convenient, and friendly. We are the representatives of the people of Ghana for a reason. Let us always be guided by this, that way we will carve a place for ourselves in the annals of our dear country. Mr. Speaker, before I resume my seat, may I seize the opportunity to express appreciation to the immediate past leadership of our caucus, made up of Honorable Cecil Atuforsen, the outgoing Majority Leader, Honorable Emmanuel Ama Kofibua, outgoing Deputy Majority Leader. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, in the case of
ase na ha ana mede eye kasaboni na so de besi edi amaw no kasaboni wuti mu ensam ne abi eniem mampani John Dramani Mahama so edi eye kokobon so ekoye de man so afofofro no emu ensam na wuti ye o kasabo no emu saso anandonku amon be shebe defion so de nsem yaboto abontene so emu ensam no eno so wuti ye saso ana George oparen so de ababoto abontene se waba oba abasomo man konkro Ghana saso eno Ovra ayam Mahama ayadgan so no so say sian wo pewo mpio no eno ye Majority Leader so a eno so bian so etumi so elko enkan so dia na ma mfa si the pesi from PH-1 Media Training Institute wo ba na cha some trade man ye no atena se na ye twenu no so ano so etumi so atentena ye courses bit say DJ yen journalist and say reporter newscasting and opesa on marketing and I saw then MC adwuma and say video editing graphic work and opesa on yan so ye ba twenu bian so etumi so akọ enkante bra na medentete pa na opiechi akwan so nya jiro ko bia ye PH-ONETV any PH-1 radio no so ewo no ehwa no bon ye chi akwan no so ewo Swedo kwan so krom Liberty Junction ehwa no bon ye chi akwan no so ewo gina me no frem penifo no ewo ntam so ewo 0542 229112 0542229112 and also say 0540 252 582 0540 252 582 and in Ramamindo as a Saudi opinion, Namade, PH1 hot news no enso edeba abaso wo hu ne ekwaso a Ghana na fan na nyina no mo amutie ye mo amusho ye mo amudwan ye wo YouTube no so nyame enhwam na me ndem mpenifo asem editor na me sanso nda me camera MC a obi bia so me nda mo nyina asene bia so ntumi so enkwanka ni bra no me ameje pene me de PH1 hot news no enso edeba ye bosomo e wasomdwemulu no ye fra me Aisha e celebrate me so afra me Aisha Hwanga nyame bo achine be sanso ehia mo a mo hwe ye nyina no nyame enhwam mo nyina mo no hwe ne tie adehye